One of the issues that we just keep talking about is the issue of the United States and Russia, interference, but maybe something even more than that. Tommy, if we can start with you for a moment. One of Utah's own, our U.S. attorney, has engaged in this discussion, and we're hearing about it for the first time, really, from him. Tell us what's happening.
It's long and complicated, but I'll try to make it very quickly. So Republicans are concerned, congressional Republicans and President Trump, that they've got this special counsel, Robert Mueller, investigating the meddling in 2016. Was Trump people involved? They said, well, what about Hillary Clinton and Uranium One? What about the emails? What about the surveillance of Carter Page, one of Trump's aides? Was that legal? So Attorney General Jeff Sessions has asked the U.S. Attorney for Utah, John Huber, to investigate that. That's a little short of what Republicans were asking for, which was a special counsel. They wanted their own special counsel, like Robert Mueller, looking into this. And Sessions says, well, wait just a second. Let's have Huber do this investigation. And if he thinks that there's a need for it, then we can do a special counsel. So maybe it's one step maybe the Republicans wanted, but not the full 10 steps that they were looking for.
Mm-hmm. Jay? Where does this go now? And let's talk about the efforts of the United States to kind of rein in this relationship, even expelling some diplomats.
Well, it's interesting that in the last week, Trump has fired more Russian diplomats than he has members of his own administration. And it does raise questions. I don't know, Tommy, how the president feels about Sessions now.
He hasn't fired him yet.
So. He hasn't fired him yet.
That's
Is
true.
that going to be coming next? A lot of Republicans aren't happy that we're not getting a special prosecutor, as Tommy said.
And some of these Republicans are worried about what these investigations are doing to the country itself. And we have one of our own, Congressman Stewart, had a very interesting quote. Nicole, I'm going to show this graphic, and then you tell us your thoughts about it, and interested what the group has to say. He said, "I don't believe any nation could destroy this country, but they could assist us as we commit suicide." That's almost what we're watching here. As they will help us as we divide and tear ourselves asunder. That's so nice,
It's pretty
right?
dramatic.
It is pretty dramatic. What do you think about that? Is that what he sees as happening to us? Is this what Russia's trying to do to us?
Yeah, he said that at this National Security Summit he held this week, and he was talking to two South Carolina congressmen on stage about it. He did come out in support of Trump and applaud him for firing Russian diplomats. He's glad to see that President Trump is kind of taking a firm hand on Russia, although I think it's interesting to note that Congressman Stewart also said that he didn't believe there was collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, so it's kind of this line he's walking.
Mm-hmm. Jay, do people in the United States feel like that Russia really is just trying to help us to divide ourselves?
I don't know. I think there's definitely evidence. So obviously, yes, there's a huge divide in this country. And I think that at the root of it is an incivility. It's an idea among many partisans that the people on the other side are enemies of the country and they're bad. And so, and that is bad for the country. And I think there's evidence that the Russians are trying to take advantage of that. But whether it's going to rip us asunder or not, I don't know.
We're going to start using that phrase now. Go ahead, Tommy.
So, I think we have to remember, too, the guy with the worst job in the world right now is Jon Huntsman, our former Utah governor, now U.S. ambassador to Russia. So we expelled 60 Russian diplomats. We closed their consulate in Seattle. So Russia, of course, closes our consulate in St. Petersburg, expels 60 U.S. diplomats from Russia. I don't know how many staffers that Jon Huntsman has left in the embassy in Moscow, but it can't be that many because we keep expelling back and forth. And he's got to try to mend this relationship that almost seems unmendable right now.
Mm-hmm. I know we have not talked about this for the last time. Thank you for your insights today.